Welcome to Promote, Profit, Publish. I'm your host, Juliette Clark, and today we have another great guest, a repeat guest, Jackie Lapin. And for the past 18 years, Jackie Lapin's Conscious Media Relations radio and podcast tours have helped nearly 400 luminaries, leaders, filmmakers, and authors grow their businesses, sell more books, and create viewership and change more lives by introducing them to over 9,000 radio shows and podcasts. Some of their clients include Don McGill Ruiz, Dr. Joe Vitale, Marie Diamond, James Twyman, Ariel Ford, Hay House, and more. She's booked more than 10,000 interviews for her clients. Now, why is this important today? Remember, Amazon changed the rules. External links are rewarded now. And when you are a podcast guest, you give out the external links for your books. And that's where those clicks are coming from on Amazon. So very, very important. Stay tuned for my talk with Jackie Lapin. Jackie, welcome to the show. Welcome back.
Juliette, I love to hang out with you because we've always got great stuff to talk about.
I know. We're so invested in the book business. It's kind of sad. But we get some personal stuff too.
Absolutely.
So I'm excited to have you today because Amazon changed all of its algorithms and people can no longer just Amazon ad their way into selling books. They have to develop their platform. And being podcast guesting is a great way to do that because of those external links. So I wanted to have a conversation with you again about, what you do, who you serve, and how these guys can play with you, because I think the way you do this is really unique and you're not spamming people like the way the most podcast hosts or the podcast bookers do. So tell us a little bit about what you do.
So I've been doing this 18 years. And thank God, 400 clients over that course of those years. And we know that podcasting is the one sure thing you can do to get your book out into the world by driving the implied value that the hosts see in you and your book. Because people are more likely to buy when it's brought to them by somebody they trust. And if they trust to have you on their show, if they have read your book, then the audience is much more inclined to buy. So podcasting really presents an opportunity that should not be overlooked. It shouldn't necessarily be all of what you do in your marketing, but it should be an important component. And what we've done throughout the years is we specialize in personal growth, spirituality, health and wellness, women's empowerment, life improvement in general, and any of its offshoots. And that's because we wanted to work with the people who were making the world a better place. And by the way, that includes memoirs with a message as well. And so our goal is to basically get you into the hands of hosts that are loving this kind of content. So we went out and we built the world's largest list of this kind of show. And we continue to upgrade it and add to it. And we just revised 6 of our lists this last month to make sure that it has the most current shows in it. And what we've been doing all these years is I will read your book, no joke, no AI. I will read your book. I will write a really compelling pitch letter. Now, I say that I capture your message, your mission, your book, and your soul in a page and a half. And then we send it to 9,000 shows. 9,000. And then we'll pull in specialty lists, like if it's relationships or if it's women's business or it's caregiving or it's whatever it might be. We will either have already a list or we'll pull a specialty list that matches that book and throw it into the mix. I'll also do a media kit for you. With some elements that you will give me. So that's something you can use not just with this podcast tour, but you can use it anywhere else. So we've sent it out there to the world. And we've made a little portal where we have your media kit in, your photograph, and a digital copy of your book. That's one of the big things that's changed over the last few years. 75% will actually take the digital book. The other
Mhm.
25 are still going to want you to send them a physical copy. But it's really cut down in the amount of cost that, now that people take digital. So they have a special portal. So when we send it out and people say, yes, I want to interview this person, we log that into a big Excel file on Google Docs. These are the people who have said yes. These are the people that want to book first. These are the people that have said, I want you to pay for the interview. That's way at the bottom. You never have to take advantage of those, and they don't count against our count. Now, here's the cool thing. We do a done for you and a done with you. And we also have an other element, but the done for you and the done with you guarantee 30 interviews or interviews invitations so that you will never go away with less than 30 shows issuing you an invitation to show up on their platform. And that's really what's made the difference for us all these years. And people know that they can come to us and they're not just taking a chance. And what am I going to get? We guarantee you 30 invitations. And as a result, you'll find we've crossed the 100 number of reviews on our website at this point. And,
Nice.
you don't get rave reviews if you don't produce. So that's basically now the two processes. Well, we actually have three. And if you'd like me to, Juliet, explain those, I'm happy to go into the details.
Mhm. Before we get there, I want to talk about the reason you just talked about those guarantee. You can go out and you can hire a PR person, but they guarantee nothing. Usually, it's been my experience. So I just want to point out to my audience how important that is that you have a guarantee here with it, because I have seen my friends, a PR person will write an article for them, and it's $7,000, and they pitch it, but it doesn't go anywhere. So basically, you paid $7,000 for a blog post on it. So I just want to point out how unique this is.
Thank you. Thank you. And I'll tell you the truth. It's one of the reasons why I got out of the rest of the PR business, because you can't guarantee anything. You can't be sure what you're going to get. And I spent a lot of years. I had a very big international agency. And so I narrowed it down to podcasting because we knew we could produce. We knew that there were, and of course, the numbers have gotten astronomical. We're now well over 4 million podcasts out there. And
Yeah.
so, there's going to be somebody that wants you. And we have everybody from the top guys to the lowest guys in there. Usually we're somewhere in the middle space. But you have to understand, and we tell people this all coming, if you're looking just to get the big ones, that's not us. Because the big guys today, well, we're talking about platform here. They're only going to take you if you have millions on your platform. They won't even
Right.
consider you. And if you're self-published, it's infinitesimal that you're going to actually get on their shows. So
Yeah.
we try to stay in the middle ground where, we're going to get shows that are really interested in you. And don't forget, it only takes a few. And keep in mind that podcasts aren't just going to sell your books. They may fill your coaching programs. They may fill your opt-in list. We tell everybody that does a podcast tour with us, you need three things. You need your book. You need your free opt-in gift because they may not buy the book right off the top, and you really want to continue that relationship with them. And then you need what's next. Where are you taking them? Now, not everybody has a coaching program or, an end game, but many people do. And if you have an end game, you need to be seeding it in your podcasts so that it's, you're monetizing your podcast, not just from the cost of a book, because you'll never pay off the cost of the podcast tour just on book sales. You really need to make it somehow more saleable, or in many cases, people don't care if it pencils out. They just want to get their message out. And that's really important too. You don't have to be somebody that's making money from your ancillary products if it just means that you can get in front of audiences whose lives you can change. We have different kinds of clients. Those that just want to get the message out and sell some books and get it into the hands of people and be heard. And then there are those that really use this as a business leader. And so, wherever you are, you really need to, if you've invested in your book, you've put this much time and effort and money into it, it shouldn't be sitting on a shelf. you need to get it out there. And podcasting is really the ideal way to do that.
Yeah, it is. And I love what you said there about the big guys are probably not going to take you. I don't think when people try to pitch themselves, they understand that it's not all about you. As a podcast host, I'm looking at, does this person, are they going to bring value to my audience, or are they just there to pitch a book? And I think a lot of times authors get into this mode where they just want to talk about their book, and they should be talking about what they do and leading to the book. And a lot of times they get so focused on the book, and you can tell from their pitch that they're so focused on that that you're like, I don't know what kind of value this is going to bring to my audience overall. So you have to look at it. You mentioned about the big guys in the millions. They're looking at, will this person bring me new listeners? That's what they're looking at, because they have sponsors, they have to sell stuff. So you really have to look at it from the two-way street, which is why that pitch is so important that you do.
Well, and the thing is also, it's not just can you bring them listeners? It's can you bring value to their audience? Can you
Hmm.
help change the lives of their audience? That's what that pitch is built around. What are you teaching? What are you offering? Even a memoir that has a message. What are you telling people that is going to help them in their life? That it's a two-way street with a host. And some of the smaller guys are looking at the same thing. Can you increase their audience with yours when you're promoting the podcast? And can you bring value to their audience? So they're looking at you from both standpoints. And it behooves you to really make sure that you can satisfy both of those needs for them. And that's what we do in our pitch letter is we make sure that they know that you can bring something of value to them and is a perfect alignment and match with their audience. And also your audience is a match for them. So that's really a really critical factor in making them want to say yes to you. It's not just whether you have a good book, but what can their audience learn from you and that book?
Exactly. So tell us, what do those programs look like? I don't want to get into pricing here, but I just want people to get a feel for, is it DIY? Is it done with you? Is it done for you? How much work do they have to do in this process?
So we actually have three options. And the first one with a guarantee is we do basically everything for you. All you do is come in and tell us when you're available or fill out somebody's calendar link, put it in your calendar and show up for the interview. It's that simple. It's a 3-month program, but we'll have already booked interviews in months 4 and 5. So you can send the reminders to those hosts yourself in 4 and 5, or we'll stay on for an extra small amount of money just to kind of manage those outliers essentially. Because most of it'll come up in the first 2 to 3 months. And then the second one is a done with you. And so when those responses come back, we've got it logged into that tracking sheet that I was explaining about. Name of the host, name of the show, where it airs, contact information, the audience size, the website, and the details of the interview. Then we make an introduction between you and the host by email. You actually do the booking, put it in chronological order in the tracking doc, and then you send the reminders to the host a few days before. We'll even make this easier for you. We'll give you the templated emails so you know what to send them when you're confirming the interview and what to send them when you're back confirming it just before the interview. So it's just you step into it, but it's more time on your part, more management. But we'll still be looking over your shoulders. And let me tell you something else that we do. And this one is also a 30 guarantee. One of the things that we will be doing is we'll also be putting in personalized emails to your sweet spot. If your sweet spot is relationships, we will go and do a backup email to each of those besides the blast email. And by the way, we send that blast email twice so that we pick up a lot of people on the second hit somewhere in the 5 to 6 week mark. So those are some of the things because we're engaged in the process, very engaged in the process, even if it's when we call it a done with you. Now, the last one is one that does not have a guarantee. And this one is more work on your part, but it's also the least expensive. And that's where I'll write the pitch and your media kit. We will send it from, to our list, but it comes from an email that comes back into your email box. So the
Mhm.
response will be coming to you, and then you're responsible for booking everything that comes from that. Now, understand, you're going to be more diligent because you're the one that now has to get all that information that I was just telling you is in a tracking sheet in the done with you process. But you can assemble that all by yourself, but there's a benefit in the fact that it's the least expensive.
Uh,
And you get access to our list. We have the most comprehensive list in the business. So if you're in the nonfiction space and you're serving a body of people, we'll still pull the specialty list for you. And we will make sure that this gets out to 9,000 without you having to do the heavy lifting of finding them and finding who the host is and what their emails are and all that, because we've already got that done for you.
So I just want to clarify, you don't give them the list, you shoot it out to the list. So for those of you thinking, oh, now I've got 9,000 people to pester, you don't.
That
On
is
there.
correct. That is
Okay.
correct.
So we have a new program, I think I mentioned to you before we got on, the art algorithm. We're recommending on there that people start booking 2 to 3 months out from their launch date. Do you feel like that's sufficient enough time to start booking these? Because my position on it is that, like, I'm recording this for September right now. So, and it's July. So if your book is coming out in July or in August or September, you've got to get going on. Or would you even say further out?
Well, no, I'll give you the caveat to that. We don't like to do this until books are available
Got it.
because
Okay.
the hosts need to read them. You have to have your advanced readers copies, which usually isn't before a month or two before the book is done. You also need to have copies when you actually, some people are going to say, I want you on my show in a week or 2 weeks
Yeah.
or 3 weeks, especially now that you have digital books because it's no longer critical that they get it in the mail. So you need to be ready to go, but your audience, if they actually air then, they need to be able to get your book. I'll back the timetable to you. Let's say that you want to be doing interviews in October. So we will send the pitch on September, assuming a month before you're actually going to have physical books, or at least
Mhm.
advanced reader copies. So October 1st, we're sending 1st of September, maybe the second week of September, 3 to 4 weeks out in advance.
Mhm.
Then I need to be reading your book a month before that. So you need to start 2 months from the point when you actually wanna be doing the interviews. And because my time is so tight that I can only read on weekends, and I need to make sure I have available book reading time. So I wanted to have a month in advance, and then we can have the time to review the materials with you and make sure that you approve them all, make your changes, and then we pull all the right lists. So back it up to, you're really gonna be doing your interviews during the period when your book is available, but you
Mhm.
gotta start 2 months in advance in order to make that happen.
Yeah, that's what we're telling people in the program because the sales are much higher when it's available versus when you try to do this in pre-sale. People want instant gratification. They don't want to wait for your book to get there. They
Well,
just want to get it and go.
and they don't want the comebackers from the listeners saying, "Oh, but I can't get this book for another 2 months." You know,
Right.
they need to know that if you're promoting something, it's available.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Jackie, where can we find you if we want to find out more or we're ready? Like, if we touch somebody here that's listening that's right in the sweet spot, where can we find you?
Come over to consciousmediarelations.com. That's that green banner right behind me. Conscious Media Relations. You can read all of our reviews over there. Um, and you can also reach out to me at Jackie@consciousmediarelations.com, which is the simplest and the easiest way. And then set up a meeting with me. I'll send you my calendar link, and then we can chat and go over the details and evaluate just what would be the best approach for your book.
Okay. Thank you so much for being on today.
Well, I'm delighted to be here. Can I give away a free gift?
Absolutely.
So we have a resource called How to Be a Sought After and Formidable Guest on
Oh,
podcasts. So you can go to consciousmediarelations.com/guest, and that should get you an opportunity to download that resource.
that's absolutely fabulous. Thank you.
Terrific. Thank you for letting me be here.